And, we played a couple of weeks ago for you the speech that he gave in 2008 at the DNC, and that was a different Joe Biden. I think you could tell that. Now, granted, we played the clips on a sped-up rate, and some people complained about that, but we played them at a sped-up rate so that we could get through them. And, you could tell the guy had a lot of energy. He was fairly sharp back in 2008. He hadn't lost it yet. But, we've got we've got a lot of examples, particularly from the primary race earlier this year, just how much he has lost a step. Like, for example, do you remember this one?
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Go, you know the thing. All men and women are created by you know the thing. He's done that kind of thing. It's become apparent that in order to do a successful interview, he's reading from a teleprompter. And this came up quite a bit last week. In fact, there were some photographs of an appearance that he had a number of months ago on the Late Late Show with James Corden, where he held up a framed photo of himself and his two sons. And as he held it up, and of course they quickly cut away from it, you could clearly see the reflection of the teleprompter that he's reading from during the interview. Okay, we've had plenty of examples where he's said things lately like move it up or end of quote. These are things, now I'm not a heavy teleprompter user, but these are things that are...
I know these things.
Yeah, they're cues. Roxanne, you've done...
I'm...
Right.
Who was it? Anchorman. What did he say in it? I can't think of the guy now. Who did Will Ferrell play?
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. Thank you. Yes, I'm Ron Burgundy because there was a question mark at the end of it. I'm Roxanne Wilder? Huh? Who am I?
Is that right? Am I reading this properly? So he's done that quite a bit. And you can hear him when he doesn't read from a teleprompter. You can hear some of the things that he sounds like. Like, here's an example where he didn't have the opportunity to read from a teleprompter, and he's talking about being slow Joe. Listen to this one.
Just look at us, okay? Just look at us. Who seems to be in shape? Who's able to move around? This idea of, slow Joe. I shouldn't laugh about it because, anyway, Donald Trump, just look at us both, watch us, and determine whether or not you think I'm misleading anyone, not you personally, but the public. Look at me, judge me based on, I know it's.
Yeah, that was Jake Tapper looking on approvingly there.
And whenever you hear Kamala, when she has a tough question she has to answer, I notice she resorts to a lot of laughter. I like laughter. I laugh a lot, but when you're using it as a tool to answer a question, you have to distrust it when it happens frequently.
It was a debate. It was a debate. It was a debate. Okay, but let's talk about Biden. And, you remember the pattern here. You notice how he does that a lot in the middle of his sentence? He'll say something like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I shouldn't do that. You remember that? That's going all the way back to the primary.
And we're going to provide a pathway for 11 million citizens. If the other guy had voted for I shouldn't get into that. I won't get going. Look, the ironworkers,
I'm not going
to
get into that.
The boilermakers, the plumbers, the electrical workers. These are the people that have been forgotten.
So that's his crutch. You can recognize it. You can see it over and over and over again. It's like in every interview that he does, he forgets where he's going with things. He loses his train of thought. And he just, anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
The debates are going to be fun.
Oh, aren't they, though? I bet you we never have the debates. I bet you he doesn't go forward with the debates. That's how bad he is. Now, listen to Biden's press secretary, okay? And I'm going to put this under the lady doth protest too much, methinks, although this is not a lady. This is T.J. Ducklow, who's his press secretary, but here he is on Bret Baier, asked a pretty straightforward question about Biden's use of a teleprompter. And listen to how he responds, and you tell me whether you think Biden's using a teleprompter.
Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign.
Well, yeah, they're using it.
And what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
Well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Brett, they talk about it every day because they don't have a coherent argument for why Donald Trump deserves re-election, deserves 4 more years. We know that he lied to the American people. We know that he has not shown leadership during this crisis, and they are desperate to throw anything they can against the wall to try to distract from that fact.
I understand, but you can't answer the question.
Brett, I am not going to allow the Trump campaign to funnel their questions through Fox News and get me to respond to that.
Okay, so what do you think? You think he's using a teleprompter or not? Because wouldn't it be the easiest thing in the world to say no, he's not? Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.